What's up? My name is Ebmarah, and today I'm going to be interviewing someone. If you could introduce yourself, that would be amazing.
Hey, my name is Gary Newberry, or known as Dark Matter around my local music scene. I'm an EDM producer, vocalist, drummer, screaming maniac metal guy. So fuck yeah! Nice. Thank you for having me, man. This is dope.
Of course, of course. So I'm gonna like basically pop right into it. Um, when did you start making music?
I started making music a long, long time ago, probably when I was like around 11 years old, and just kind of singing around the house. You know what I'm saying? I got familiar with drums around age 12. Started playing for churches and stuff like that. Picked the violin early in elementary school as well, and then got into metal. Learned how to scream and stuff like that. And probably around 14, 15, joined my first band.
Oh hell yeah!
And our first show was actually pretty cool. It was with a band called Chelsea Grin and Motionless in White at a place called the Brewery, which is an old rundown venue that used to exist in North Carolina. It was such a crap hole, but it was legend. It literally lives in like the old emo kids' minds still to this day. But yeah, so I've been ever since I heard music, I've been involved in it, wanting to do it and stuff like that. So
Well hell yeah! That's that. I love the answer. How did you find bass music?
um, so I found bass music. It's really weird. I was in a band and we were touring and we actually got pretty big. Played with many, many, many famous bands. Really, really, really prestigious headlines and stuff like that.
Oh,
And
yo, hold on. Back up 2 seconds.
what's up?
How? So hold on. We have to restart that question. I'm
Are
getting
you
I got a notification on Facebook and it dinged. So I was gonna try to mute that, but then I muted Facebook and it muted you. So
Oh, you're
hold
good.
on.
You're
how
totally
did
fine.
how did you find bass music?
So around the time I discovered bass music, I was in a touring band.
Hmm.
Um, and we played, pretty big shows with some pretty amazing headliners. Our recognition was getting up there, and then I started dating this this awful person. So she ended up breaking my heart, and I dropped out of the band due to depression and stuff. So my friend brought me to a rave that same night, and I was like, okay, like I'm not a rave guy, I don't know what this is about. So I went there, and the whole time I just couldn't take my mind off of like the person in the DJ booth, and I was like, that's fucking cool. It's like a band, but it's one person. I want to do that. And so ever since I saw that, my first rave, I knew that's kind of my next direction in life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then I started listening to like Sullivan King and Excision and stuff like that, and Borgore and and Zomboy, and it just kind
Ooh,
of opened my mind to an entirely new world of music, and it's really not any different than metal. It's just made with just MIDI
right.
controllers versus guitars.
Exactly. It's electric metal.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean it's just a breakdown with a different instrument. So
I came in a very similar way. Wow,
yeah.
that hit got me a little too much. What is the hardest thing you've had to overcome as so far in the scene with what you
Um,
do?
so I'm a little bit different than a lot of people in the scene. House is really really big in the scene, and nothing against house. I've made multiple house tracks. I love house music.
Same.
It's just not what I want to get on stage and do every time I play. I rather put on a rock show for everybody. I rather have high energy and heavy bass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And stage antics and live singing. And I like. I don't know. It gets boring standing behind CDJs and pressing buttons. So I want to give people an experience. And a lot of people in the scene don't really. It's not their thing. They rather someone get up there, not talk, not sing, just play your house music and get off. And I butt heads with some people sometimes because they'll have like five house DJs before me and then me, and then get mad at me. They're like, you killed the mood. I'm like, I'm sorry, you booked me. And
Right?
like I said, I can play to the crowd. I have no problem doing that, but it's generally the high energy um that really is it's just not wanted in our local scene that much as I think it should be. But then also I don't really go out in the scene that much, so I don't really associate with that many people. The economy's tight, so going out and drinking with everybody on a nightly basis just isn't economically feasible right now.
You'll same.
And they don't understand that. They think that I'm just not supporting. It's like, no, not at all. I support everything y'all do. I just can't, you know,
Yeah, we just broke out here.
yeah. And so
Like what?
so they come up to me and all the time be like, well, you don't go and support us, you don't show any of our shows, so we're not going to book you. And it's like, I get that and I completely understand, but if I had it, trust me, I'd be at every show. I
Right,
just,
same.
songs ain't selling like they used to, man. So that's all it is.
My bad. We broke out here. No, I'm the same.
Yeah,
I am the
but
exact same.
I love the scene. Like I said, I've no hard feelings towards. I get everything's a business, and I
Yeah.
get everything's a face, and a lot of people put on these faces just to get stage time at Showtime, and I won't do it.
Yep. Nope.
I,
Same.
I yeah, I won't put on a fake face to go and play for an hour somewhere. I'd rather be happy, because when I'm happy, or you're happy, or the performer's happy, and your audience is corresponding, that energy is amazing, and nothing beats that feel. So no, I'd rather trade that once in a while show with a really solid connection between me and the audience,
No,
versus
exactly.
playing house music every night. It's just not.
Yeah,
No.
it gets it probably was fun at the beginning, but like you're at the stage now where you're just like, no, I wanna actually like I want people to come for me, not
Yeah.
for. I can respect that. I think I feel like a lot of people get to that after like a couple of years of being in this scene.
Yeah, and I feel it might be the boomer in me that's just like, no, I don't want to follow what everybody's doing, but it's just I don't. I feel like you stop creativity when you put people in a shell, or you're like, this is popular, so only do this. I
Yep.
feel like it puts people in a cage and it stops you from really expressing yourself. That's why I love the weirdest most creative DJs I've seen. Like, are the people with like they've all the soundboards and the little sample pads and everything, and they're just zoned out in their own world, playing Ableton live, like live on stage, like
Yep.
things like
Those are
that.
the
Like
yep.
that's
That's the
yeah,
where I want to
exactly.
get. That's where I want to get.
Yeah, I love it. That's why like people like Fred again and stuff like that. Like watching these guys live, I'm like, this is the side of electronic music I wish people would appreciate more, because this is music. This is a performer. This is an artist. So like I said, bringing that here in Raleigh, and that's why I honestly have way better shows and way better audience reactions when I play out of state than I do here.
Oh yeah, I can imagine too, because also they're probably excited to see you there.
Yeah, and
I've the stigma of the scene is people don't get love locally.
no, and here's the thing: you get love, but the love is only distributed to like the same 5 DJs
Yep,
every lineup, and
yep,
it's like it gets stale, it gets old, and it's like, yeah, I don't want to go and watch you guys again play the same songs. And here's the thing: a lot of these people aren't even producers,
yep.
so they're playing the same top 5 EDM songs that come on Beatport, and it's regurgitated to the point where it's like, I don't. It's a waste of my time to go and watch this.
Yeah, I've been
So
noticing. I watch Festival Finesser on YouTube, and I've been noticing a lot of his videos. Like, if you watch carefully and listen to the songs, like you can hear like the same song like 5 times between like 4 different people, and it's just like, come on.
yeah, exactly. And I think that, and again, a lot of these people, they have great careers, they make a lot of money, they have great clout, all that stuff in the local scene. But, like I said before, I rather be unique, be different, hold myself to a different standard, and be happy and at peace with myself at the end of the day, versus not saying it's selling out, but in a way it's giving up a piece of you. And
Yep.
I won't do that. That's not, I can't do that.
I
So,
truly though I think that's going to benefit you a lot more in the long run for your career in this
mhm.
than all these people that are getting that quick gain because like mumble rap fell off.
Yeah,
Nobody cares about mumble rap anymore. Like Little
no,
Pump tried to come back and nobody gives a fuck.
nope.
So it's just like, all these people that I'm not even just saying rhythm, but like all these people that are just jumping on the bandwagon and not really like actually trying anything. They're just sticking in one lane. They're not going to get far.
No,
They're
they're not.
they're going to get far in the short term, but then in the long term, they're going to fall off, and they're not going to be able to hold up and continue to create. So it's going to be sad. But we can talk about that for hours.
Yeah,
Where did you
exactly.
grow up?
I grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina, or slash Garner, kind of in between. I bounced between Raleigh and Garner a lot. Then I moved to Tampa, Florida, until I was like 11. So I
Hmm.
came back here, and then never left North Carolina really again, as far as like a home. So I love it. Very country. On the outskirts of everything. I like it that way. I like the
I
city
was about
for
to say
visiting
sometimes that's
and party.
awesome.
Yeah, I like the city for the partying, and I like it for the atmosphere, and but nothing beats when you get to go home to a nice place out in the country. You can relax and shoot some guns out in the field. You know what I'm saying? Or play music as loud as you want. No one's gonna say anything. So
Exactly.
yeah, I love it out here versus out in the big city.
Awesome. What's the first song someone commented on that made you excited? And if you remember that comment, what was it?
As far as like an original song of mine.
Yeah, or any original remix, bootleg.
So I had one song that I made with it's an older producer. He's actually pretty big. His name's Inside. It's NSIHD, I believe is how you spell his name. But he submits songs that he does to this big Twitch streamer who's like in the industry. He usually like he produces like rap and hip hop and stuff and trap, but he
Mm.
reviews everything. And for this guy to say that like the song we made was good, and he's like, "Wow, that slaps." That he goes, his words like that goes hard as shit. And I was like, to hear that, from someone who's in the industry,
Such a good
it
feeling.
exactly, and that to me almost means more than any paycheck ever I
Right?
would get from any music. Not saying it wouldn't help, but no, hearing just someone else vibes to it that like does it for a living, it's pretty cool.
Exactly. That's
Yeah,
it. Yo,
it's
you
cool.
nailed it on the head. The I've made posts about this over the years, but they didn't really get much attention. But like I've made plenty of posts where I've said like I'm not in this for the fame or the money or like the clout. I don't care about any of that. What I want is for one day to have the artists that I listen to that I got into this music because of to reach out to me and be like, "Yo, what you're doing, the music you're making is sick." Or like,
Yeah,
I
it's a
want
good feeling.
that. I don't care about fucking like any of that other shit. It'd be cool, obviously, yeah. I think anybody that says that they're not in it for that they don't want money or that they wouldn't want to be famous in this
Yeah.
is just full of shit. But
Oh yeah. Exactly. Like I said, all that's why I make house music and how and D&B songs sometimes too. It's because like, you never know what's gonna happen.
right,
And dipping your toes in other ventures either sometimes just to, experiment is nothing's wrong with that either. So
I just started making hip hop beats because I was like, fuck it, you know what? I'm gonna start selling hip hop beats.
hey, that's cool. Like East Coast stuff or like West Coast style?
I'm gonna try to do all styles. I right now I just made 3 boom bap beats because I know boom bap is like loved by everybody. So
That's cool.
I can get people from the West Coast on a boom bap. I can get people from the UK on a boom bap. So I'm just, but yeah, I'm also just gonna take requests. I'm gonna say, yo, whatever beat you want, just give me like an example and I'll make something like it.
I like it. Yeah, dude. Yeah, we'll have to collab sometime, man. I make like
Oh,
everything,
I'm
so
so down.
that'd be cool.
That's
That'd be
one
really
thing.
neat.
Another thing that I was hoping comes out of this is not only am I going to be able to, network with multiple people, but I'm going to be able to. I would like to collaborate with every single person I interview, no matter what their learning threshold is. I'm probably going to interview someone that is not even producing yet, and I'd be super down to be their first collab.
That'd be cool. Yeah, yeah. And you're
But
never done learning. The best thing about production is it's always a
it's
learning
always a learning
process.
game and nobody's like okay there's obviously certain things like sidechain and stuff but like there's millions of different ways to sidechain. There's ways that
Oh yeah.
probably us all producers haven't even figured out on how to sidechain, so it's just like there's no wrong way to do shit is what
Exactly.
I'm
Like
learning.
some people use like multi-band compressors and shit like that. I just use LFO to
Yep.
sidechain. That's really all I do. So
what is what is the first song that someone commented on that made you upset,
um
or has
I've
that
never
happened?
well I've never really gotten a bad comment, which is it makes me
Yo,
feel good.
that's amazing.
Now, but I have had like I've had other people that do music longer. I've had like when I first started out things that I thought sounded good, and I was like, yeah, this sounds dope. I'm super hype, and they listen to it. They're like, yeah, but that 808's weak, or hey, that bass is like,
Oh.
there's so much shit you could, and not saying it's bad, but they're like, you could do this to be better. And in turn, that criticism didn't come back to like I was like, oh fuck me, I'm done. No, it maybe it's like, okay, well, cool, that's learning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um, but people, I'll be real, I don't even read YouTube comments. I don't read Instagram comments unless I see like a heart in it, like
yeah,
where
neither do
somebody's like
I.
wanting a reply, because then I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah thank you. But I don't give in the negative feedback because here's the best thing I can give any producer too. All criticism is good to listen to, but not all criticism is valid.
Yep,
And you don't have to accept all criticism.
at
You
all.
don't. You don't because some people are fucking wrong. Some people are just dicks
Yep,
and they're gonna tell you things just to be an asshole. But like I said, real constructive criticism that helps you build and grow is fucking amazing.
It is the most amazing, especially if you can take it with a grain of salt rather than like an attack.
hmm I'll give you an example. I had this one TikToker. He basically he converted his like SUV or his car into like behind him had like a wall of subs, and on his doors he was like some master engineer or some shit. But he's like, send me a song. I'll make do a collab on TikTok. I don't do the TikTok shit, but I was like, okay, fuck it. Some guy wants to, let's do
Hmm.
it. So I sent him the song and he listened to it and he's like, hey, he's like, the song's good, but you have something called semitones going on in your bass line. And it's like it's basically when it's running through the subs, it sounds weird. It's putting these notes in it that sound like they're off key a little bit.
Mm.
And I was like, even though it was on key, it was just because in Serum, when I made the bass line, I hit there's a little thing, I don't know if you know, it's called like voicing on the right side.
Yeah.
I left voicing on, but I had it cranked all the way fucking up.
Oh, jeez.
So I didn't know that. And I also, at this time, I was learning in the beginning, and I didn't have studio monitors, and I didn't have these. I didn't have good, I had none of the gear you see here today. And like, so through
That's where
my
I was
little,
at.
yeah, through my little Samsung sound bar that I had at the time, I couldn't hear that shit. So yeah, I took that though. I took what he said, and now I don't think I've ever made that same mistake again. So that's just, I don't know. And like I said before, criticism is good, but when it comes to criticism, just be wary of what you listen to because some people are just fucking assholes.
Yep, some people are just trying to talk shit. I hate when people say like your snare is ass. I'm just like, okay, well, I mean, the fuck you want me to do? I didn't make the snare. I downloaded it off of a pack. Like,
I
the
know,
fuck?
dude. It's so hard to find snares. So when I
It's
work with my mastering engineer, I'll sit there with him because he's also my guitarist in my current band.
oh
So I'm
wow.
sitting there with him and we're doing it. And he's like, dude, where'd you find this snare? And I'm like,
I don't know.
Splice. And he's like, well, sounds bad. I'm like, okay. So then he'll find one and put it in there. He's like, well, check this out. How's that sound? I'm like, how do you find it? What? To
How
me,
do you
the other one
find these
sounded.
snares? Are people's ears just different? Am I like I've been thinking that because like I every time I send someone a track, they're like, this track is sick, but the snare in this is ass. It doesn't fit the track, and I'm just like, what do you fucking
Yeah,
mean?
it's hard. It's super, and I'm a drummer. Here's the funny thing: I'm a drummer, and I like to me. I'm like, what? It sounds like it's doing its fucking job to be like it's
Right?
going like
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
I and
It's doing what it needs to do. You can hear it, right? Yeah, it just doesn't sound
exactly.
good.
But learning what is a correct snare, like kicks. Before my kicks were asked. Now I don't think I've had the kick replaced in any of my new songs since.
Yo,
And it's just a learning. You know what I'm saying? And
for the
getting the ear for it.
longest, I had no clue that in heavier dubstep music, it's smarter to put your kick in mono because that takes a lot of the sub out of the kick and it makes it so the kick can
Smart.
punch through really punchy but not like mud out everything else in the mix.
That's
And
smart.
once I did that, holy shit. My
I'm gonna have to
drums,
try that. That's
oh,
cool.
it makes them sound so crisp. What fucking, why am I blanking? I always blank on his name when it comes time. Um he just released an Ironhide. Ironhide fucking
Iron Eye.
gave me that
Okay,
advice.
that's cool. That's fucking
Uh
neat. I'm gonna try that. Thank you. Good advice.
not obviously. Thank you. Who are your inspirations? Speaking of inspirations.
So when it comes to music, my early musical inspirations were people like Ronnie James Dio, Rob Halford from Judas Priest, Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden. I
Okay.
love the strong frontman singer. I love a good person who can get there and command the audience with their voice, and that's why I do strong, powerful vocals live, is because I think if you have a good singer, a good drummer, and a good bassist, your guitar player can be complete ass, and you have an amazing thing going on. So, and then, but when it comes to like EDM, I love Sullivan King and of course Excision,
Yeah, oh yeah,
um,
everybody
and
loves Excision.
Zomboy. Like my first time I ever heard Zomboy when I was younger, it took me away, man. I think it was like, what was it that song Nuclear? Hands up
Nuclear,
or whatever, yeah.
yes, yes.
And I was like, whoa. And then I listened to this was like his old stuff I was listening to, and I was like, this shit's so different. It's kind of dark. It's kind of twisty and wonky. And yeah, so Zomboy, I say even to this day, like when I see he releases a new track, I'm like, yes, I love it. Because like, I don't know,
Same.
he's so different than like a bunch of other people. Um, but
Which is funny because at the beginning when he was blowing up, everybody was calling him Skrillex wannabe.
yeah, no, not at all. But I think a lot of it is like he uses a lot of samples,
Yep.
but like who the fuck doesn't?
Right? I use samples
So
sometimes. Come on, people.
Yeah, but no, as far as like he's just dope, dude, and his stage antics are just amazing, and especially why I love Sullivan King. Like I said, a good
Sullivan King's
front man,
awesome,
a
right?
good person that's center stage that can draw the audience like he does is amazing. Especially in EDM, where there's such a stigma on people talking into the mic.
Yep,
People don't generally like that, and I tell them to shut the fuck up. I'm like, fuck it, this is my time, this is my hour. Shut up, I got the
right.
mic. But I love that how he doesn't care and he'll get in there, play guitar. He'll command the audience, and that's something I've been trying to do even before I ever heard of Sullivan King. And to see someone else do it, it just empowered me more to like,
Right.
yeah, okay, this is something you can do, and if it's done right, people fucking vibe with it, and it's nice.
That's why I like Grizz so much back in the day because Grizz would pull out the saxophone.
Dude, that dude's a genius, man. That dude's crazy.
I was so salty when I first saw him live. I was just like, because I played the saxophone for 6 years in middle school, going into high school,
Oh wow,
and so yeah, sorry, and so when I saw him live, I've always when I started getting into dubstep, I was like, I'm gonna get a saxophone and play this shit live. Like I'm gonna play a saxophone over my music, and then I saw him do it live, and I was just like,
that's dope.
that's sick. He's doing it. He's doing it. Yeah, he was a huge inspiration. But so, what are some common misconceptions people have about you?
That I worship the devil.
Yo, that's like everybody in the dubstep scene.
Yeah, but I paint my nails and I wear eyeliner and I wear makeup when I play state and I wear tight black clothing and chains, and so like a lot of people think I'm just like evil. So then when they meet me, it's like completely different. I'm like, yeah, brother, come on, let's go smoke a blunt. And they're like, oh, what?
But you don't
Like,
walk out on stage with like a you don't do the sudden death void fucking walk
floating
out
thing.
there in a yeah, you don't walk out there in a goat mask or whatever the fuck.
Well,
Like
my budget's a lot tighter than his, so probably if I could, I
yeah.
did want to be one day wheeled on like a dolly, like the Hannibal Lecter style with like the straight jacket, the mask and shit. I think that'd be fucking cool to be wheeled out on. I think that'd be dope.
That'd be sick.
Um, but yeah, that's why, like I said,
Oh,
that and
sorry.
like I said, people just they think that I don't support the scene, which is not true at all. I just can't afford the drink every night. That's it. Other than that, I'm pretty upfront about who I am. I'm me to all that I encounter, and I don't have a filter. I don't give a fuck. I toned myself down during certain situations and conversations because
Yeah,
the
cuz
world's an evil canceling place out there who hates all free opinions.
yep,
Um, but I love
scary.
everybody, and I try to despite how scary I look, I try to put out the same amount of love and compassion that's given to me, and reciprocate, and I think that's important. Just like it shows, I think being the first one to there and the last one to leave when you're playing is instrumental.
Yep,
Like so Ronnie James Dio used to do that back in the day when he was a touring famous musician. Before his death, he would hold the door for people leaving and shit like that. And I love that because it really shows, hey, thank you so much for coming to see my dumbass on stage tonight.
yep.
You could have done any fucking thing else, and you could have gone out and fucking watched somebody that's actually worth a fuck, but you chose to watch my weird ass on stage. So, the biggest misconception I say ever is just, don't judge people by how they look because some of the scariest looking people can be kind of cool. So,
That's actually an amazing answer. And I hope that helps destigmatize what people think about you when they see this.
yeah.
So people watching
Yeah.
this, this person is very chill. What is a song you recommend people to listen to of yours first?
So one that's out right now, it's called Kill Me. And I don't know if y'all watch Ozark, but there's that one scene where that chick, she's like, it's like, if you're gonna want to stop me, you're gonna have to kill me. And I sampled that shit. Um, it made some weird ass sudden death.
Ooh,
It's almost rhythm, but it's weird. I
ooh,
guess it's considered like weird future rhythm shit. But that's out now. But then my Alien song that probably gonna release tonight or tomorrow. I cannot wait to show the world that shit. And I even made a cool visualizer for it and everything. Like I don't know. I'm gonna send this one off the labels. Like I think this one might, even if it gets no attention from anybody famous, it's fucking cool and I'm proud of it. So
yo,
y'all
that's
check that out.
the. uh, I've had that where I've sent songs to labels and fucking I'm so excited about it and then I hear nothing
Yeah.
and I'm just like, oh man,
At least give me, and I would love if they did this. I would love if they sent you back a letter or a form with like, hey, do this, 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 and this.
right? I
or like
see.
something,
I ran a
anything. Like,
label. I ran a label for a little bit, and that's exactly what I did. Everybody that sent something to me, I had people sending me submissions that it sounded like this is the first song that they ever tried to do in a DAW, and they sent it to me. And I still sat down and told them what I would change in this to make it something that I don't know if this is what I would accept, but this is
yeah,
it would be listenable. And it is tiring. I'll say firsthand. It does, like, especially I only got, like, max the whole time I was running the label 100 submissions over the year, but like I can't imagine labels that get a lot more than that. But like it's not that hard to, even at the very least, you like, if label heads, if you're fucking watching this, all you have to do is sit down one day and write out templates of answers, and, like, hey, no, we're not going to accept this. We think that you need to add a little bit more work to your mix and master, and I like the direction you're heading in, blah blah blah. Come back to us when you have, if you don't hesitate to come back to us, or don't feel discouraged to come back to us, and just have those little templates out. And then, when it comes time to send those emails out, just edit it a little bit. Like,
yeah,
it's not hard.
no, not at all. And even hire one person for or a
Right?
team just for this, not to do anything else. This could just be their job to come in and answer dumbass questions all day
And you
and
don't
like
even
tell
have to
people, yeah,
hire them. You can find so many starving people in this scene that are new that'll do that shit for free just so they can get in your presence.
ooh, that's smart. Yeah,
Like, it's really not hard to message back people, and it would change so much of the way the label artist
yeah.
demographic works.
And a lot of labels, it's what weird. It's like a lot of these new labels, like Subsidia. Not talking shit about Subsidia, Excision. I love y'all. Y'all are great. But when they first started their thing, the whole slogan was like, "Bring dubstep back, bring bass music back, help EDM." And now it's literally just Excision and his friends that get signed.
Yep.
And it's like every label goes to that, and it's like, okay, well, that's cool that Wooly has a eighth song that's signed on this label. Like, what about the
Yep.
dude in his basement that's like
Where's the
killing it?
email to submit to them? I couldn't even find the email to
Oh,
submit to
there's not
Sucidia.
anymore. Now you have to know. Basically, the only way to get signed by them now is you have to know like either a someone in the label or one of the artists that signed, and that's the only way you're doing it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
cool.
it's yeah, it's awful. Yeah, I gave up a long time ago. I'm like, nope, I'm done.
It's
I'm
just
done with
like,
y'all.
wait, what? You're a
It's
record
sad.
label, but you don't have a submission email that people can like readily
Yeah,
available to people? Okay.
and it's sad. It's sad the amount of loops you have to jump even for them just to listen to you.
Yep.
It's really sad.
It is.
It's
It's. I've basically, like, I've basically just decided to put on the Joker's mask and just fucking talk shit about the scene, and hope that eventually people will start listening to my music. Like, I do not care anymore.
No, you gotta speak the truth, and I think a lot of things people sugarcoat. They're afraid. Oh, well, this one club's not gonna book me. Well, let me tell you something. This one little tiny club isn't gonna make or break your music
Yep.
career. So what if they don't want you? Guess what? You keep pushing. Get out. And this is what I'm doing. I now host and throw shows in Virginia. I'm done. Like I love the local scene, but if they don't want to support me and support other people that I see that are actually trying to do something,
Then I'll
then
go out.
yeah, I don't want to be a part of that because I'm not in y'all's clique. I don't want to be. I do this for a passion and a love of mine, and so do so many other people that never even get a chance to be on stage,
Yep. I
and
haven't been on
that to me is
stage in
heartbreaking.
years, but last year I decided that I am going to not accept bookings for the next couple of years, and I'm just going to build my online name, get my name to the point where, like, I don't want to beg for bookings. I want bookings to beg for me. So I want to, if it's possible, I want to build my name to the point where I got booking agents basically offering me whatever, like, I need you out here. We need you out here. Like, that's what I want. And if it doesn't
That's the
happen,
way
it
to
doesn't
go.
fucking happen.
Yeah, but honestly, I'll be real with you. A lot of these the times are changing, and I see so many successful artists, like even especially rappers,
Mm-hmm.
who've never even played a show before, and their
Right?
whole career is an online
Yep.
thing, and
Yep.
people love it.
Yep.
They eat it up, and they're rich and successful, and it's like
You don't even have to
times
leave
are
the house.
changing. Yeah. And now everything's like getting to like Grimes when she plays shows, she doesn't even leave her house. She puts on a virtual was it the motion capture suits? And there's like a little hologram of her. Like, yeah, times are so weird now. So it's almost like you can do it by just flooding TikTok with your shit. Really, that's I
Let
think
me.
really is like the key.
I need to reattach my jaw real quick. I cannot leave the house and play shows at venues. Hold on. I need to. I do not like leaving the house. This is amazing to hear. What's your favorite thing to do outside of the scene? Because there's topics on here that we can get stuck on for
Yeah.
hours.
Oh yeah, no, I like it. That's a good. You're good at what you do, man. So,
Thank you, thank you.
my favorite thing to do outside of the scene, I like being home. I'm a comic nerd. As you see, my room I have is full of. I've wall on the other side. I have walls of action figures and comic
That's
books,
awesome.
and I'm just a big nerd. Star Wars. Really, I do that, and I play some game. I'm not a gamer. I'm not horrible at gaming either, but I play a couple games. I play some Call of Duty sometimes.
Hey,
But mainly I like being home. I'm more of a homebody.
same.
All my shit's here. I got my kitties. And that's it. Just chill with my family. To me, that's the most important thing is being around the people you love and showing them attention and
Yep.
trying to make the world a better place for them. Because I think that's what life's all about. I when I was younger, I used to go and drink all the time and
Yo,
party, and I
same.
was gone all the time and never
Same.
home and out late and still get up and going to work the next morning and hungover. But like as I've gotten older, because I'm 29 now, and I know
Yo,
that's not
same.
super old, but I feel like I lived a lot of life very quickly, and now I kind of like just boomering it up in my home, watching some movies, reading some comics, and trying to save the things I love from crooked hands that I see destroying what I love in the media. So
Yep. Actually,
that's
that segues perfectly into the next question. What is something you'd want to change about the scene?
um just inclusivity. I would love to see more people involved. Beside the same 6-8 DJs a night.
Yo, yeah.
Um, Even with big acts, they'll have bigger acts, people that come from like Hesh and stuff like that, Vampa. But they'll have like the same group of recycled DJs
Yep.
every show, and that's cool. I'm glad everyone does their thing, but
They're
I
not
want to
letting
see new
anybody else
people.
in.
Yeah, I want to see new people. I want to see someone who's like I miss seeing nervous DJs at shows. Oh, this is my first time ever. I love that because I'm like, and guess what? They kill it every time. I've never met someone who said that to me and they suck. I was like, good, you fucking killed it. You slayed it.
Right?
I love seeing that. So like that's it really. I think, and then I would like to see our scene actually do something because the scene in Raleigh, North Carolina is just clicky. There's one
Ooh.
or two clubs that everybody plays at,
Yeah, it's kind of out
and
over here
that's and
too.
that's it. And that's it. And then they don't want to do anymore. There's more heart and soul into little parties and get-togethers that you go to and play at versus the bigger shows.
That's sad.
And it's really sad, but it kind of reminds me of the old punk and metal days, playing house parties and shit like that. I feel like kind of you have more connections playing at those places than you do like the bigger stages nowadays anyway. So I'll be real, my perfect ideal show is like a room full of like 50 people, you know,
That's awesome
boiler
because that's
room
intimate. That's intimate as fuck.
boiler room status. And like I played a show like that last year at a festival. I closed out the night and like let me tell you, man, it was probably only like 40 people showed in this little room, 40, 50 people, but it was probably the best connection I've ever had with my audience. And
Right?
but yeah, no, as far as like going back to the question though, um I just want to see more people used and utilized and branch out. There's so much talent that everyone's fucking missing. If any of the promoters are hearing, what we're saying, there's so much talent out there. There's so many
So
people that
much.
absolutely kill it, dude. And I don't mean just DJing. Like, there's amazing musicians out there, like who work at Burger King. You just don't know. You don't know who these people are until you open the doors and you try to, you know, invite them
Exactly.
in. And that's all.
Exactly. And I'll say
Um,
something to the gatekeepers in this fucking scene. Drop your prices. Drop your fucking prices. You don't need to charge $1,000 for promotion. Like, we're struggling out here, bro. Do
that's why I do all
fucking
self promo, man. All self promo. I don't pay. I won't pay that.
yeah.
That's robbery.
Any bit of reach I get is off of repost exchange and fucking just word of mouth to people. I've tried to like talk to people that have repost chains that are good that they charge for, and they charge like 300-400 bucks for a repost, and I'm just like, hey, can you like work with me?
God. Yeah, that's I
I
get it because like
yeah
but at
they
the end of the day it's robbery though. It's
yeah
it's
I
yeah.
I get
Mhm.
that they put so much time into building that chain, and like, their chain does, like, do good, and it's organic and all of that, but like, do you have to charge everybody? Like, charge the people that are making decent money off of their music that price for it, because they should be. But the people like us,
Yeah.
come on, can you give us like a fucking the food stamp version?
Yeah. I need the
Like,
EBT promotion
yeah,
card, please.
yeah, like, come on. I've legitimately, like, and I've sat there and tried to, like, just like have a conversation with some of these people, and I'm not gonna name names because that's not, like,
Oh
but
yeah.
like, holy shit, they're the firmness on the fact that they charge, that's what they charge, and they don't give a fuck, is just like, it's
Yeah.
staggering to
Oh yeah.
me.
Oh yeah, it's like I said, it's robbery. It's taking advantage of people, and a lot of the times, the people that are paying for all this promotion shit, it's not gonna really help them get anywhere.
Yep,
It's just taking money from somebody, and that's why honestly, go. And I highly recommend this to any artist that wants to actually go out there and do something. Go, just
yeah,
go
just
do it,
just just fucking
do
do
it.
it. You don't need to wait.
Hit people up, be annoying. I'm serious. Like I have one guy that I hit up. He's in Texas, and I'm in North Carolina. But he's every week I say, "Hey, booking for a show," and I'm like, "Is it big?" Because he told me he's like, "If I have a big show, I'll book you." So every time I see him post, I'm like, "Is it big enough for to fly me out there?" And he's like, "Nope, not this time." But I'm
Not this
annoying as
time.
fuck with this shit. You wanna know why? Because I'm. You have to go grab opportunities that are not going to come to you in this
Yep,
scene.
yep.
Because if not, you will get
Opportunities
ran
don't
over.
come.
Yes, you will get ran over by people who are more ambitious than you, and you
Yep.
cannot do that. I'm not saying steal from people, not saying
No,
steal
yeah, not at
attention,
all.
but no, go and grab what you want. And guess what? You want to be on stage? Find a motherfucking place that'll put you on stage. You
Right?
can.
Just go to a rave. There's promoters there. Like, I
Yeah.
was at a rave a couple months ago, and I saw a dude walking around handing out like cards, and so I walked up to him and was just like, what's up? What's the card for?" And he's just like, "Oh, I'm a promoter and I'm gonna be booking events later on, and I'm trying to
Yes.
just get people out there." And I was like, "Can I get one of those cards?" And I didn't say anything to him at the time, but then when I got home, I fucking messaged him on Instagram. It was just like, "Hey, yo, can I get like an email from you to send like a demo so you can potentially book me for events?" And he sent me an email, and I was just like, "Okay, cool." So it's
See, but
just
that's a
like,
good promoter. That is the open-minded shit. I wish there was somebody here that would do that. Walk around and be like, "Hey, looking for people to book, like looking
well,
for
he
acts."
was just looking for people to come to the event. He was just handing out, like, he was just trying to get people aware of his event that he did. I just, instead of at the show telling him, "Hey, I'm a DJ or I'm a producer, like, can you, like, would you be down to book me for events?" I waited till I got home. The next day I hit him up on Instagram and was just like, "Hey, I met you at this rave. You gave me your card to come to an event. I also want to ask, I'm a producer and a DJ. Can I get an email that I can send you a demo, like, mix to? And if you like it and want to put me on the list of people you book, then that'd be amazing." And he's like, "Yeah, here's the email." And so it's just
Yeah,
like,
God, that's awesome.
they're not
That's
gonna
so
do
awesome.
that. They're like, you're not gonna, if I added that dude on Facebook to today and messaged him asking him for that, he'd probably block me. But you know what I mean? You just have to catch people at the right times, and don't be afraid to just ask for it, because
Yeah.
they're not gonna come up to you and be like, "Hey, are you a DJ producer?"
No, not at all. And half the time, I'll be real. And even if you put yourself out there, it's not a guarantee that they're gonna get the gig,
Oh,
but you're
yeah,
still
no.
putting your face in
Yep.
that. You know what I'm saying? And that's important because eventually down the year, like I've had that happen to me. I met people like years ago. All of a sudden, I'll get a message being like, "Hey, you want to come play?" It's just putting your seeds in the
Yep.
right ground. You know what I'm saying?
Don't be afraid to talk to people.
Nope.
The worst you can
Yeah.
get is a no,
Exactly.
or
And hey, guess
ignored.
what? Yeah. But hey, if that happens, guess what? It just makes be louder. Do make good music. Tune your craft to where you get people's attention, and that's make them hear you. That's it. That's the best advice I can give to somebody on that show.
Um, if you woke up tomorrow and had the spotlight on your music and social media, do you feel like you'd be able to handle it as of now? Or if you do have a decent following, what is it like to navigate it?
So I yeah, if I would be able to navigate a decent following in the future if I had one. I have a all right following now. I have a bunch of people, more people know who I am than I thought. My friends went to a who was it was a Borg was it Borgor? It was I think it was a Borgor show in at a place called oh my goodness Alchemy in Raleigh, and they were mentioning me, and a lot of people heard of my name and heard what I do, and it was really cool to like even not being there, for other strangers, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
To recognize my logo, to recognize, my name. It's cool. It was a good feeling. But yeah, I feel like if I ever had the potential to grow more in the future, I would do just like I do with my fans in real life now. I would treat every fan with the same dignity and respect and love, you know what I'm saying, that I get out of them. And always respect your fans. Here's the one thing that corporations nowadays, like Disney and other
Don't
places,
do.
need to remember about their customers and their, because let me just be honest with you. When you have fans, you have a following, they're not only your friends, your family, your following, your followers. These are people that you influence, and these are customers.
Yep.
And if you are bad to the people that buy your shit, they are not going to buy your shit.
Yep.
You are going to alienate your audience. And so, no, like I said, I want my fans to feel like they can have a personal connection with me, but at the same time, not too personal where they are intimate in my like everyday life,
Yeah. No, you
But
got to
they
keep
still feel,
boundaries.
but I want them to feel like I care about my fans and I love my fans, because even now, I feel like the loyal fans that I do have, they know they're very loved, they know they're very taken care of, and they know I've broken up fights for people before, at and
Same. Same at
I just
raves. Same.
yeah, I won't. I don't deal with that shit, especially not at my events. It's all about love, man. The love you get out is the love you get. Not all the time, but generally with, you know, your supporters. You'd be surprised. Just random acts of kindness to people who put an effort towards your shit just changes the world, man. It really does.
Yeah, I went from being years ago. I went from being the salty guy that would always complain on Facebook. Why is everybody blowing up but I'm not? Why is this guy getting famous but I don't? But nobody likes my music. And it was just every other post was just me bitching, and I stopped doing that and started being positive and started to just like throw love out to the internet and rather than hate, and it started to flip around. So anybody, I see it, and this one I want to direct to the rhythm community. You guys don't need to be so hateful all the time. You know what I mean? You can be nice to people. Like we can
Exactly.
all love each other. It's not.
Exactly. And here's the thing, even with your fans, and this is one thing, you're not always going to agree with what your fans say,
Yep,
and your fans are not always going to agree with what you say. And that's fucking
fine
fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
at all.
In fact, I like it because
Same.
you can learn from people that way. But if
It's the
I
only
hate
way to
echo
learn.
chambers. I
It's the
hate echo
only
chambers.
way to learn is
It
to
is.
to find somebody that has a different opinion of you, or especially if you're wrong. Like if you're right, fuck it. But if you're wrong about your opinion and you're running around with a bunch of people who are wrong, you're just never gonna fucking learn. But if you
Oh, you're
finally
not gonna
get
learn.
into that little argument that is gonna be uncomfortable for you for a couple of seconds, you might
Hmm.
actually learn something. And it might
Yeah,
not
it's
happen
great.
right away, but like you might wake up a couple days later and just be like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. Learn a whole new perspective.
I love just chatting with people about shit because it's just like that's the way I learned. Like I'm
Yeah.
not afraid to be wrong. I love
No.
being wrong because being wrong means I'm about to learn something.
And there's some shit I want to be wrong at.
Yep. Well,
Please prove me
all the
wrong.
time. Yeah.
I want to be
Please.
happy. Prove me wrong. Because some things I think I'm being too cynical. Please prove me
Please.
wrong. Please,
Exactly.
for the love
Yep.
of God.
Yo,
But
same.
some stuff doesn't happen. You're like, oh shit, this really sucked like that. But no, like I'll say this, like I said, going back to the question. No, but when it comes to like your people and who supports you, always let them know that they're appreciated. Um,
No, exactly.
because that is your success. That
Mm-hmm.
is your key. Without them, you are a
Nothing.
person behind a keyboard or a DJ controller
Yep.
or a guitar. You're not anything without your people that
Yep.
give you money to do what you do. So take care of
Exactly.
them.
Do you have any other advice, like, because you've given a decent amount of little pointers for people starting out, but do you have anything else that you haven't pointed out for people that are starting out in the scene?
Yeah, go do it. Don't, like I said, when I went to that rave the next day, I got my tax refund in like 2016, and I fucking ran out to Guitar Center and I got me a Newmark. I don't know if you ever heard the Newmark NV2.
Yep.
I got my first controller, Newmark NV2. Didn't know shit about using it. Didn't know what the fuck it did.
My first
Knew that it
controller.
looked cool.
My first controller was a new mark.
Hey, they're great. They're great. They just don't last long, but they're cool. I love them. But yeah, go out and do it when you see what you want to do,
Yep.
even if you don't have an idea that you're going to be successful at it or good at it, because not everybody's good at everything.
Yep.
But as long as you have a heart for that shit,
You'll get
you got a
good.
passion, go do it.
I sucked
Go.
at dubstep. I sucked at making music when I first started doing it. I still kind of suck, but like I'm passionate about learning and getting better, so I'm never gonna give up. So
I
it's
like
like,
that.
yeah, yeah, great advice. Just fuck, like I knew people back when I don't know if you know what Mixify was. It was like that website where you can like DJ live to and like people can sit in there and watch you.
No, that's cool though.
Yeah, it was a sick ass fucking website. I don't understand why it tanked. But so there were like I met a lot of the people that like I still talk to some of them to this day. But there were people that mixed on there keyboard and fucking mouse on virtual DJ because they were so dedicated to wanting to fucking just mix that's
Oh,
they didn't have a deck, so that's what the fuck they did.
and killing it, right? Some
Yeah,
people killing it.
killing it.
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
good with your
that's dope.
fucking mouse and keyboard if you don't have a if you want to DJ and you want to do this, like fucking do it.
Get
I
the trial version of Record Box and just go ham.
yeah.
Literally, that's all you need to do.
And producers, if you're like scared to get into producing, I know so many people, especially in the rhythm scene, that make their music on their fucking phone.
Yeah,
So it's just
and
like,
it sounds good. It
and it
really like
sounds,
yeah.
yeah. I was friends with someone in I was in a rhythm group or whatever for a while, and there was one dude that was in the group that his music was sick as fuck, and I'd asked him to collab, and he told me that he makes the music off of his phone, so he has to send the stems that way, and I was just like, you've been making all of this, wait, all of the songs that I've heard of yours, you made on a phone, and he was just like, yeah, and I was just, I
It's
was, my
kind of
mind was
badass.
blown. I was
That's
just
kind
like,
of
what the
cool.
fuck, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
sky's the
it's
limit, man.
yeah, yeah. You just fucking do it. Just do it. If you want to get into this, just like yes,
Hmm.
it's oversaturated and getting noticed is one of the hardest things to do, but
Be different.
just yeah, just
Be
stick to
different.
your fucking self.
Hmm.
Do not put on an act
Nope.
unless
And
you if you are gonna put on an act, fully commit to that shit.
exactly. And yeah, and I think that's one of the most important things is like to stand out, to be different, but don't be
Don't be
too
fake.
different. Yeah, don't be fake. Be still have an aspect of who you are in it. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm not gonna wear corpse paint and blood on my face and
Yeah.
makeup while I'm chilling at home. But you know what I'm saying? It's still an extension of who I am when I'm on stage. There's not a personality switch.
Yep.
There's the same
Nope.
person that you see here is on stage. I just look weirder. But no, my biggest advice is just go do it, man. Just like who's it, Shia LaBeouf? Just go do it, go get it. Really, that's all you got to do, man. Like it's not saying you're gonna. Here's the best thing. I'm not even saying you're gonna do it. I'm not even saying anybody's gonna go. And if you can put your whole cards on the table, all your effort, your time, your energy,
And not get anything
everything.
out of it.
No, and guess what? You learn and you move on. But guess what? If you do that and you get even the slightest bit somewhere with it, man,
Have fun.
it's fucking worth it. And it's worth the journey. It's worth the staying up long hours, learning how to work Serum,
Yep.
learning sound design,
Yep.
watching YouTube videos on how to fucking, work a fucking CDJ. You know what I'm saying? It takes all that shit that's really tedious and monotonous and sometimes boring as fuck.
Yeah.
But you know what, man? Just do it. Get
And
your ass
hey,
out there.
if you've spent a long ass time trying to learn how to sound design and you're for some reason like just not able to do it, download presets and just fuck around with those. Like we've gotten to a point in the scene where it's impossible to tell who's using presets and who's not unless it's like some VR presets from 2014 that people are still using.
I mean, I'll be real. Some presets are pretty fucking badass.
So,
Like, so some
I
presets are pretty badass.
I feel like I've said this a lot, but I mean, I don't know if I've ever said this to where it's going to be up on the internet forever, but like 90% of my basses that I use in all of my music are basses that I at one point got from a pack. I just
Yeah,
manipulated the shit out of it and turned it into my own. I dissected it and figured out what the fuck they did and was just like, okay, cool. Now I can
yeah,
change it to what I want it to sound like. And I mean,
exactly.
it's a great way to fuck like sometimes I don't want to sit there for 4 hours making a sound when I can start from a starting point. There's a basis point. I know what I want this. I know what I want the sound to sound like. So let me just start from here and make something that is me. But
Exactly.
just do that. You don't have
There
to
was
start from
one
scratch.
for this alien song. I was trying to, that like classic alien sounding lead that's like the real high pitches, like.
Ooh,
So I was
yeah.
trying to make that on. Was it I
Do you know
forgot
what
what
it's
synth I
called?
was. I don't know what it's called. But I was trying to make that, and I got so fed up. Then I went on Splice and I went to Serum presets, and I typed in Alien, and I found it in 3 seconds, and I was like, okay, boom. And then I
Uh,
just threw Rift on it, and like,
I could.
Perfect.
I'll throw you a couple bucks if you want. If you could send that to me, because I've been. You're talking like, okay, for example, that and I hate to bring up his name, but that iconic Dat 6 song, Firepower, in the middle of the drop, where it's just like, ooh,
Yeah.
that's yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If
Yep.
I can, I'll send you money to get that serum patch.
I'll just send you the stems of what I do too, and yeah, I'll send you the patch. I'll figure out how to export it. I got you. Yeah, dude, this shit's dope. There's actually like two or three of them that I use.
Yeah, because
Um,
I've been wanting to. I cannot for the I've for years been trying to find that sound. I've like looked up like hip hop alien sound in all of the in a lot of the popular song. I cannot find that shit for the life of me.
yeah, and it's not difficult to make. It's just like I don't know the preset. Like you'll hear it when I send it to you. Like, oh yeah, this saves so much fucking time. And I threw riffed on it after that, and I was like, yep, sounds good. Thanks. Yeah, so sometimes that's all it is, man. Like the shit people overcomplicate it unless you're
Yep.
making your kicks. Like, no, shut up.
Yeah, no,
What?
those
I don't have
people
time for that, man.
those people like I've noticed over the time, and I'm probably not going to be completely right, but a lot of those people that are like, oh, you need to make everything from scratch, like those people, they don't really like get far
No.
in the scene, which is not like, like it's not a bad thing, but it's just like, whose opinion do you want to
Yeah.
listen to more? Someone that's getting farther in the scene, or someone that is just like, staying in one little place and being a little cave troll, just like, no.
Exactly. I mean, I know labels that release the same packs out to all their artists, and you hear a lot of the same, like, you know what I'm saying?
I had
So,
a
so for people to like ever be like, "Oh, don't use presets," shut up. The
I had
big
a little
names use presets.
I had a little conspiracy theory going on in my head that like all of the biggest artists in this scene, they all have like a fucking Google Drive that they're all connected to, and they all just put their presets in there, and they're just like, yo, fucking, you guys want, just grab whatever.
It's not a bad idea, really, to have
I
a collective like of stuff
I
like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what, like, Virtual Riot and all these people on Disciple and all them, like, I don't see why they wouldn't have, like, that is super smart. I just recently created a like the Google the professional version of Google to have like to have everything professional. You can
Oh, nice.
easily do that if you had that, because like the drive is connected to all of the people that have accounts through that, so it's just like,
It's cheap too. I thought like
yeah,
what like $7 a whole month
yeah,
or some
yeah. It was
shit.
like
Yeah, it's awesome.
7 or 8 bucks a month. I'm just like, when I saw that, I was just like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's yeah. I did that recently too because I get so many emails and I'm always doing shit like collabs and sometimes some of the collab projects they're like 24 gigs and shit and it just eats up your email space.
Yep.
Like, yeah, so I felt kind of like I was like I'm finally giving Big Google my money to have more email space. I felt robbed, but I was like it's only $8. Fuck it.
Right. What name 3 dream collabs you'd have in this scene?
So in EDM, I would love the collab with Sullivan King. I think we could both do some really cool vocal work together. I would love the collab with Sudden Death or Void, whichever project he would have me on. And then let me see. There's one other producer. He's actually like a bass house producer. His name's One True God. I don't know if you ever heard of him before.
Ooh.
But he's really dark, and I don't like I said I don't generally dig a lot of house and weird bassy music like that. But like, or not bassy, but like housey style, you know. But his shit's so different. I would love to throw vocals over one of his tracks and like really make something like really just dark and eerie. Like, it's cool.
Now 3 people outside of the scene.
I really would love to collab with Periphery.
Ooh.
I think that that'd be a really cool thing. I think Tim Henson, like their guitar, I think he could do some really cool shit that could like be processed and turned into some cool bass shit. Um,
He's that guitarist that looks like an anime character, right?
yeah, with the neck tattoo all the way up to here. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah, yeah.
I have like the
He's such a
biggest crush on
beautiful
that
man.
dude.
Like he's such a beautiful man. It's weird.
Like, I'm pretty straight, but like I have a huge crush on that dude.
I think everybody does. Don't worry. Him and was it, Pedro Pascal. Everybody.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, how can you not? I question you if you don't. You have to think
Exactly.
he's handsome. Come on.
For the part periphery be the first one. Second one, I really think just because they're getting older and like I don't know how long. I think Metallica. I think that'd be really
Ooh,
cool.
that'd be sick.
Um, in metal or EDM, you know, I think it'd be
Hmm.
really cool. And then my third one, I don't know if you ever heard of Kim Dracula. But
Um,
but
Potentially.
he was a horrorcore rapper, but now he moved into like he just released a song with like Jonathan Davis like 3 days ago. Um, but he does like everything from like falsetto '80s vocals to like dark SoundCloud rapping, like Suicide Boys kind of shit,
Okay.
back to fucking like just deathcore. And I don't know, that kind of weird variety and sporadic like song. I don't know. It'd be really cool to have to be featured on something like that too.
That would be
And they're
sick.
just cool people. Like every collab I've ever wanted to do, like I make sure the people are at least fucking dope. You know.
Right. Someone you want
Um,
to work with.
yeah, like cool people, like people that are generally down to earth and like literally only live for their passion, you know, like I do. I think that's I don't give my attention to, and even like I have rapper friends and shit. They're like, you don't give my shit attention. I'm like, but your shit ain't real, man. There's no your shit's clout. You chase clout,
You
and then
chase
you
clout.
yeah, and you don't care about your songs being mixed and mastered. You don't care about your shit actually sounding good. You just care about your shit's on a track and you're out there, and you want people to support you and tell you that you're good. No, I won't do that. So all my collabs, even collabs I do today with people, are dedicated artists that I know are in it for, for everything.
Exactly. Shout out three people you think deserve more attention
My
in this
boy,
scene.
my boy, Mr. Jupiter. I have a lot of house collabs with him.
Hey.
Like a lot of house collabs, and he's one of my good friends in the scene. He books me all the time. Shout out to Space Camp. That's his company, his booking promotion company. They booked everybody from Vampa to Hesh. My first show with Hesh that I ever played was with him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so yeah, it was awesome. My other boy Severance, who's a Death Step producer. He's played a couple shows. He's getting bigger out there, but I don't know. He's so talented in the shit he makes. Sounds like it's like Code Pandorum is
Yes.
Code Pandorum, but on like crack.
Oh shit.
It sounds like Code Pandorum put through like the sexiest meat grinder you've ever heard.
Oh gosh.
And we have a collab coming too. It's gnarly.
Wait, what's
He
this
makes
person's name?
his name's Severance, but it's Sevrynce. He's on SoundCloud.
Say that one more time.
It's Sevrynce.
All right.
Severance. And he's the really cool guy too. And then the last one it would probably be my roommate Jim Shorts. He kills it, dude. He mixes trap, but he mixes like old school songs too. So he'll have that song like Smooth Operator mixed with like Suicide Boys.
His wait, his stage name is Jim Shorts.
JimShortz.
That's fucking savage.
It's amazing. Yeah, but I think he deserves a lot more attention, and I book him every time that I get a chance, just because it's a nice refresher, and people don't expect it. They expect EDM, but like when I book him, and all of a sudden you hear like, you hear like "It's Raining Men" mixed with like, um, a Suicide Boy song or like a Ghost Band song. You're like, oh,
Jesus
okay,
Christ, that would be fucking savage.
it's dope. It's dope. Yeah, it's really
It
good.
sounds so that.
Um,
Oh my god.
and he smokes blunts all the time he plays too. So like it's a whole thing. It's awesome, dude. But yeah, those three people I've worked with personally, love them to death. All amazing people who are true and true to their craft and very talented, and would love to see them on bigger stages. So,
Hell yeah. What is your favorite thing to do production wise?
oh god, my least favorite thing to do production wise, I would have to say is I get really really bad anxiety and writer's block, but it's generally self induced.
Yep.
So I'll sit there with an
Same.
open DAW and just I'll literally make an entire drop and then like
Hate it.
yeah, and I'll just delete everything.
Yep.
So I think my least favorite thing about what I do production wise is my second guessing. I need to just build off of stuff instead of just like getting frustrated and be like, no, this sucks, you know. Um, but as far as like the actual musical process, like as in the actual production step, what I least enjoy doing the most is probably sitting there and programming each individual drum and shit like that, because I don't like to use loops. I like drum loops. I like, I drag each hi-hat sample, each kick, and I don't use the rack in FL either.
No,
I straight use samples
I
because I
don't
feel like
understand that either. I've know people that use the rack, and I'm just like, why? You have so much more control when you don't use
yeah.
it,
And then that's the thing. And I know you can go in there and you like right click on something, you can put like 16th notes, 32 notes, but like if I could just drag it
right?
to that spot and it literally do the same thing, then yeah, that's it. But that's
What's
it.
the
That's
point?
Yeah, but like that's it's tedious. Like, but honestly, once I get the groove of doing the drums, like I start getting the build and like you start getting to where the snare builds and shit. Like then I get hype and I'm like, okay, it's coming together, and I relax a little bit. But like now I have the worst like writer's anxiety
One thing
fucking
I can
ever.
actually suggest to you, if you don't already do this, is when you're working on a project and and you're starting to have that feeling, open another project and start like do something else. Like
Nice.
immediately just step away from that project and start another one. Because and then I would even wait until the next day to come back to that other project and then just listen to it. Because
Smart.
you might change your perspective after a day. Because when you're sitting there working on a song, especially I know for me, I can sit there and work on a drop for like 3-4 hours, and then I'll fucking I'll stop, I'll listen to it on loop for a minute, and I'll be like, I fucking hate this, and I'll delete it. But recently, I started to do what I said and just like go and start another one, and I
Hmm.
come back to the project the next day, listen to it, and I'm like, yo, this is actually kind of hype. Like, let me fix a couple things, and then it like takes you out of that like, oh, I'm worried about this one thing, and then and that point too, you can stack more projects. So it's like you're
That's
already
cool.
like you already have like 5 or 6 projects that are like kind of have their bare bones put out, so you can come back to those.
I like that. I'm actually gonna do that. Thank you. That's good advice. And like you said, it helps you kind of stack projects too. And then like even if you don't use it, you can
Yeah,
go back and listen to it and be like, okay, that's a good reference for some of the shit I want to do. So
exactly. And you can also like some of the ones you don't end up using, you can take that, send it to someone if they like it. That could be a collab track. Like that's what I've been doing. I got like, and I don't even want to sit here and suck my own dick, but like I got like 12, all of the tracks I'm releasing this year I made in like a week, because I just every single time I got stuck on a track, I just opened a new project and started another one. I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm stuck on this one. I'm just gonna move on to the next one. And sometimes I would that would happen 6 or 7 times, where like I start 6 or 7 tracks and I get stuck within like just the first drop, but I keep coming back to those and until it just kept snowballing. And now it's like I have too much fucking music and I don't know what to do with it.
buy bigger hard drives.
Yo,
Ooh, shout out to marijuana.
yo, say, uh, once you're done coughing, what is? Oh, I already
We're
asked
good.
that.
I'm not dying. We're good.
Oh no, no. I
I'll
you already
probably
answered
die. I'll
that.
probably die on cam, but this won't be the day. Don't worry.
Yo, yo. What question do you wish I asked?
Nothing, man. I think honestly, I was actually shocked because I've done interviews. I've done interviews for like bigger online magazines, and the amount of depth they got into their questions, it's like just generic as fuck. And like it's cool, but like you're actually like the way that you talk to people and the way that you're like you evaluate people's questions and answers and shit like that. I don't know, man. You're good at what you do, so just keep
Thank
rocking
you.
it, man. I'll be real. Keep this is good. So,
Thank you, thank you. That is an amazing compliment.
I've I watch a lot of on YouTube. I watch a lot of people like interviews and a lot of panels, you know what I'm saying? Where like there'd
Same,
be 8 people. I love that. As I've gotten older, I love that because you
same.
learn from so many different sources. So when I see people that are good at it, I want to encourage that, man. Encourage that spark because
Fuck
like I
yeah,
don't know,
thank you.
you don't know where the fuck this could take you, dude. So just, keep
Well,
it doing
hell,
it.
yo, thank you so much. That is,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, brother.
wow.
Yeah, brother.
Um, what can people look forward to from you for the rest of this year?
I'm pretty much gonna release a song every month for the
Same.
rest of this year. Starting with this alien song that'll probably drop tonight or tomorrow. And I'll send you a free copy too, by the way, brother.
Thank you, thank you.
Um, and then other than that, whenever my band is ready to release our songs, we have like 13, 14 fucking songs that are done. Um,
Hey,
that we just need to start getting music videos ready for and hopefully submit those to like Sumerian Records and see where the musical journey takes me. But other than that, basically, I play any show that I'm invited to. I'll play anywhere. I'm here for the music and I'm here for my people. And let's rock and roll.
fuck yeah. If you were a flavor of ice cream, what would it be?
I would actually. So I tried. Those mochi ice cream balls, the Japanese ones.
Ooh, I tried one of those recently, and I'm yep.
Boy, I had the passion fruit ones 2 days ago. And let me tell you something, it's the best shit I've ever put in my mouth. I would be one of those. I'd actually be a whole fucking six pack because they're just great.
Yeah, I actually might have to agree there because I've recently come across those and I do not know where the fuck I have been living my entire life with. I've seen them at stores and I didn't buy it because I was just like, what?
Yeah,
But
it
like,
looked weird to me. I was like, this is way more progressive of a food that I'm willing to try.
yep,
It
no.
looks too different. And then I ate it and I was like, oh, never mind.
Oh,
This is sex. What the fuck am I
yeah.
missing?
What have I been missing out on my whole life? Yeah, now I'm addicted. Okay, yeah, that you just reminded me of that because now I want to get some.
They're so good. Try the
Okay,
passion fruit ones if you find them. They're so good.
I've only had I think I had the chocolate one and then
I've had Oreo, vanilla, and chocolate, and they're all good. And then the passion fruit. But let me tell you, the passion fruit, it's creamy, but it tastes like a fucking Starburst.
oh,
Yeah, it's stupid. It makes you want to almost dip it in vodka. Like it's that good. It's fucking good.
damn, that sounds amazing. And okay, for the last question, if you could tell fans and people in the scene one thing about you that you wish they knew and that like people sometimes might misconceive about you, what would it be?
I really do worship the devil. No, I'm just kidding. No. Honestly, man, I want people to realize that I want the same thing they want in the scene. I want, and I hate this is gonna sound generic and stupid as fuck, but remember Plur?
Yep.
Remember that when that
Where
was
did
a
that
thing?
go?
Yeah, and I was never one of the people walking around going, "Oh, Plur lie, Plur, Plur, Plur." But I love the principle and the idea of it
Yep.
because what it stood for and what it meant has become something that it's not nowadays. Now it's just clicks. And if there's, one thing that I want people to know, it's like, you know what? No, I'm here for the scene and I'm not going anywhere. Even if I never become famous, at least my local scene and the other surrounding states that I play in, I'm in it for y'all, man. That's why I do what I do. I wake up every day, do my music, stay up all night making shitty dubstep because I love to see people dance and have a good time. And yeah, and I just want people to know that I love them and I appreciate them for their support and hope it never stops. So that's all.
That's an amazing. What I'm learning from this is that fucking most of us producers are the same. We are
Yeah,
legitimately like fucking like the same people, just different bodies living different lives, but like we all have very, 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 very similar like thoughts on the way we want to live life and the way we want the scene to be. I don't
we're
understand why
creatives,
the
man.
scene is so different. Like,
Well, because it's not full of creatives. Let's just
oh,
be real.
true. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Let's just be real. The scene, and at least in my, I'm not talking about every scene now. This is just my scene. Most of the big names in my scene are not producers.
Yep,
They're the top 40 DJs.
yep,
They're the people who play club music. They're the people who they go to the same club every night and they play the same set of songs. That's what's big, and that's to me though. But when you meet a real producer, someone who's intimate about their craft, they love what the fuck they do. It consumes most of their life. These people are so fucking humble and thankful that you even gave them an ounce of attention and said,
right,
"Hey, I know who the fuck you are." That
right.
means the world to these people. And I've met like DevTro. I met he's semi famous. He's sold songs to Excision and shit. Really, really great producer, really, really cool guy. But so I played
Sold
a show
songs
with him.
to Excision. Like Excision
Yeah,
bought the
yeah,
songs. He paid for
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Damn, we out here
Um,
begging for him to download our music.
exactly. So like, but I was talking. I played a show with him. So it was me, Devtro, Gramir, and then Hesh. So I opened, and then as I'm playing, Devtro got on, and afterwards I was talking to him. I was like, dude. I was like, it was such an honor, I was kind of expecting him to be uppity and kind
Yep,
of like, but he was just like me.
humble as fuck.
He was like, dude, yeah. He's like, I honestly didn't know how I was gonna go on after you, and I was like, what? The fuck does that mean? Like that's a like but like and then the whole time I was outside, he kept finding me. Like we all kept finding each other, just chilling and like having normal conversations. And then, like
Yeah,
it showed me, just like you said, most people who make it, sit and make the shit, like are so different from the people who just play the CDJs and that's all
yep,
they do. It's a different mindset. Your heart is in it in a different way, and most of the time you tend to be a little bit of a recluse, almost,
yep.
and it's
Most of
it's
us
weird.
are. There
Yeah,
was
and it's
actually
nice.
there was one of the questions on the other tab that I left out, it was, are you an introvert or an extrovert? And I'm not asking that question anymore because I know like 90% of the people are going to say they're introverts but have extrovert like tendencies at
Yeah,
points.
I'm a
Cuz
forced extrovert, which
yep,
means like
yep,
if there's shit that
same.
I have to go out and do,
Yep.
I'm good with people. I know what to say in front of the media, in front of the public, in front of like without being fake. Does that make sense? There's some
Yeah,
things I'm just not
yeah.
going to talk about
Yep,
because it's like you don't need to know that about me. And
yep,
if I tell you, it'll be private without prying eyes.
yep. I
And
learned the
then
hard
that's a
way.
yeah,
Huh.
exactly. Me too. I made a joke one time. I made a fucking joke, and then yeah, it was so stupid. I almost got canceled off of a joke that
Yep, same.
it wasn't even anything I made. I shared a picture.
Yep, same, same. I've almost canceled myself multiple times because of trying to make a joke, and I was just like, I was just trying to make a joke. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like, I didn't mean to offend anybody. Like, I'll take the joke down. My bad.
Yeah, and I wish that the world, and not just the scene, but the world in general, could just laugh a little bit, man.
Yep.
I agree, not everything's a joke. Trust me, I do agree. I agree that not everything's a joke, but then at the end of the day, if you can laugh at it, that means that some part of you has come to peace with it long enough for you to at least laugh at it momentarily,
I
and
also.
that's
Oh,
good.
sorry. Keep going.
Oh no, and also I was just gonna wrap it up with that question by saying, like, it's just I think that laughter helps with trauma
Yep.
a lot
Oh,
of
it
times
does.
too, and if you can laugh at, even if it was horrible and awful, and I'm not saying bad things happen to people are funny. No, not at all. But if that person themselves could
I can
later on
laugh at it.
come to
Yeah.
terms with it and hear other people telling jokes, yes, it might trigger you deep down inside. And yes, I understand trauma. But if you can accept that, hey, it's a joke, and other people are allowed to fucking laugh,
Yeah. Yeah. And especially if
you'll be much happier.
especially if we're just joking about something that may like we're not joking like you can be at a comedy show and a comedian can make a joke about like let's say rape and I don't even you know what I mean I wouldn't if I was a comedian I wouldn't do that but you know if you in the crowd were raped that you have to take into consideration that that comedian doesn't know you he doesn't know that your personal life what has happened to you he's just
Exactly.
making a joke about a topic so you like to hate to think that they're like attacking you personally is a reach
Yeah,
now I
it's
do get
it's a
that
super big reach.
it's I do get that it is like kind of triggering in a sense and it might make you feel uncomfortable but you know what I mean like
Yeah,
that's
but
what
that's life.
life
But
yeah
that's
that's
life, unfortunately.
that's life but
And
one thing I did want to shed light on too about when people cancel like get into cancel situations on the internet like when you make a post that gets backlash I don't know if everybody, if this is just me, but like when you got a whole bunch of comments coming in and you're replying to a whole bunch of comments, it's so easy to fuck your words up in the split second because you're replying so fast because you're all, like I get anxiety, so I'm sitting there shaking, like I'm getting emotionally nervous, like I'm replying super fast. I'm not thinking about what I'm replying. I'm just fucking I'm going off, and it's
yeah,
just like that's dangerous. So
it is
it's
very
just like
dangerous. Just don't
people
reply. Yeah,
yeah
just
when you're
it's
getting
just
if you make a post where you're where people are giving you a bunch of shit just let them give you a bunch of shit for a day and come back I wouldn't reply to every single comment read all of the comments and just make one reply on that on that make one comment on that post and be like you know address everything and move on
yeah. Because I'll be real, and it's like I they've tried to cancel me 3 times. One time wasn't even anything I did. It was somebody didn't like a certain friend I was hanging out with, and it wasn't even over anything like no allegations, no anything like that. It
they
was
just
just
didn't
they
like the
didn't. Yeah,
person
and
Jesus
they were
Christ that
like
happens so
you
much
need to watch her, and I was like, bro, I make music and come home and play with my cats. I was
like
like, what harm am I fucking doing to you? And they were like,
yeah
oh, and this person went, oh yeah, you're right, and they deleted their post, and I was like, yeah, you're fucking stupid. Like, I don't agree with cancel culture. I agree with yes, people who are guilty of hurting other people. Like, I don't mean
yes
saying mean words on the internet. This is the thing.
yeah
I mean physical, like something
yes
that ruined your life, doxing something. Yes, these people need to be taken care of, and people who are truly like, out there to like go against equality and truly hurt people. You know what I'm saying? Of other races or other ethnicities or other genders or anything. Yes, those people need to be taken care of. People who are truly harming other people. But
exactly
someone telling a joke or stating how they feel
shouldn't
should not be a
yep nope
dissonance. I'm
nope
sorry. It just should.
and let okay now I can say that unless they're saying that what they feel is that like what Datsik was doing was fine and they think that Datsik should be back on the scene then yeah maybe we should take into consideration that this dude is probably
Yeah.
toxic
Yeah,
or
that's a little
person.
weird. Yeah, that's a
But so
little
you know
weird.
what I mean. There's always the possibilities of certain stuff. But yes, to you shouldn't we shouldn't be canceling people just based off of opinions.
No,
Now,
because you kill art. It kills art, and
yep,
then here's the weird part: when you start killing off art, you actually give people control who shouldn't have control over you.
yep,
And
exactly,
we've seen that in history. And I'm not going to bring up what group of people did this
yep,
to where it worked. I'm sure you can guess what I'm saying,
yep, nope,
just because of censoring issues on the internet and whatnot. But no, once you start taking away people's freedom to create and laugh and joke and make, then you're giving control to people who don't need it. And
yep,
that's, that's why,
dangerous,
yeah, exactly. And that's why, like, no, I'm not a bigot. I'm not a racist. I'm not this and that. I love everybody. As long as you're a cool person, you're good to me. I'll be good to you.
exactly,
And,
exactly.
but as far as, shutting people's free thinking down, even if I don't agree with somebody, even if they're saying the most awful shit, I'm still going to support your right to
To
say
say
it.
it, yep,
Hmm.
exactly, exactly.
Not saying I'm not going to give you a platform. I'm not
Yeah,
going to, but
make yourself
I
look
will,
stupid.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And guess what? People in comments will deal with you.
Yep, exactly. I
Yeah, yeah.
don't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
If
I love when people make themselves look stupid on my posts. I'm like, okay, go for it. Like, I'm not gonna fight you. I'm gonna let
no,
you look dumb, and then you're either gonna erase your comment because you realize that you're an idiot, or you're gonna
yeah,
get reamed in the comments by everybody else, and like you're
give me
just gonna find
entertainment.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I I learned after so many. Like, I'm not gonna deal with that. I'm gonna let the other people deal with it because once you start, I don't want to attack people because then I look like the asshole. No.
Nah, exactly.
This was an
Uh,
amazing interview.
Well, thank you, brother. Like I said, I'm happy to be back anytime too. This is, like I said, I love talking to people. I love connecting with people, and like I said, I haven't had an interview that's gone this good in a long time. I actually have some reciprocation. That's pretty cool. So for real, man, keep doing what you're doing.
Thank
I
you.
think people, I would want to listen to shit like this. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I do listen to shit like this. Um,
Thank you.
so
Yeah,
yeah, just keep it
you.
at it,
You've
man.
legitimately made me super juiced about these interviews because of because I was honestly the first. I've only done two of these so far, and both of them are people that I hang out with on Discord every single day. You're the first person that that I interviewed where I haven't like I don't really know much about you, and I've never talked to you like this before. So it's like I was going into this a little nervous, like, oh shit, this is gonna be like what is this gonna, you know? But
Yeah.
this was it's super chill.
Yeah, you
So
just gotta
thank
find
you.
people that know how to talk, man. Like I said, you're not always gonna have interview because like
Oh
I said,
yeah,
I
yeah.
did
No, I
interviews
know.
on Twitch back in the day. Trust me, I've had people who like will sit there and you're like answer questions and they're just like, yeah,
Yeah.
uh huh,
I
for
started making
sure.
music in 2011. Yeah.
I've had worse than that. I've had somebody just give me straight yes or no, and I was
Yes.
like, cool, bro. I was like, have a good night. After like 10 minutes, I was like, I can't do this shit.
When did
But
you start making music? Yes.
exactly. But like, nah, for real, dude. You're good at what you do. Keep at it, dude. These questions are great. These are the kind of questions people need to be asking in interviews. Because you're not only asking questions, you're kind of advocating for change within scenes and change, you know, to what we do. And that's kind of cool. I always support that. Anything positive that helps the scene, man, it's got me. So yeah, and for real, you need help with shit, or if you just, you need someone else to take over interview for you because you're sick, I'd be happy to help you, man.
Hey, thank
Anything you
you.
need.
With
Yeah.
what you definitely I okay, I'm going to talk to you about that after this, but thank you
Okay.
so much. Once again, what who am I speaking to?
My name's Gary Newberry. I go by my production name is Dark Matter. You can find me on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, all the other weird shit DistroKid puts your shit on. I'm on TikTok. It's usually under Dark Matter or Dark Matter NC. But yeah, come check me out. I got some cool stuff. And I'm always doing stuff, always doing different things.
There's going to be a
Also,
oh sorry, there's going to be a spotlight post that I make that's going to have that's going to have a link tree. You got all you guys got to do is scan the QR code. Just take your phone. If you watch this on your computer, take your phone and look at that picture and scan that little QR code on it, and it'll take you right to the link tree.
sweet.
It'll have everything.
Also, I want to do a little promo. I got a St. Patrick's Day show in Danville, Virginia. So that's on the 18th of next month. It's a $10 charge, but I got Suspense, Raven, Fractal Sound, and Squiddy coming to play. So if you guys know any of those big local artists, come out. It's a little bit of a drive to Danville, Virginia. It's only like an hour, hour and a half, something like that. But It's fun. I guarantee you will get smoked the fuck out, so you're not gonna leave sober. But you know, it's what
Crazy.
we do, man. We if you we're trying something new with these shows. We're actually bringing a more home environment, a more down to earth, like the vibes
I think that's what
that
we
we're
need.
yes, the vibes that these shows that we're throwing, man, are unlike any vibes that any other shows I've been to in a long time. Because it's pure love. It's all it is, and that's it's what we want. So yeah. So look out for my other thing, Dope Productions. It's DOP Productions everywhere on Instagram and Facebook. That's how you'll keep up to date with our shows and everything.
If
But
you have
yeah,
a link tree for that, send me that as well.
yeah. I don't have a link tree, but I'll just send you the link. I'll add it to my link tree, so we'll be good.
Perfect, perfect. Got you.
But yeah, hey, thank you guys so much for fucking having me, and yeah, y'all fucking rock. So
Thank you for coming.
yes, sir.